I believe that Generation Z will be one of the greatest generations to ever exist. Guys, if you were born between 97 2012, this video is for you. This is one of the most frustrated, one of the most confused generations that have ever existed. Most of us feel cheated, most of us feel lied to. We don't know up from down. We don't know if we're going to be able to survive on our own. We feel like the world has lied to us. We grew up in an era that told us if you just work hard, if you just follow these steps, you will be successful, you will have a house, you will be where you want to be. And guys, the thing is there's a turning point, there was a shift, all right? There was a shift with our generation because at the end of the 90s, things started to change, all right? A lot of people say the 90s was the last great decade in quite a few, right? The last 3 decades, just about. The end of the 90s was a turning point for many, many things. Obviously, September 11th, 2001 changed many things for the US and around the globe. But I believe that many things have impacted our generation in ways that we cannot fully understand, and honestly, it's kind of fruitless too. But there are some key things that happened. Obviously, the housing crash, right? The recession of 2008. You have things like COVID that happened that totally shook up the economy. We're still struggling because of it, right? Most goods, most prices of things went up 50% or more, right? House prices, rent prices, everything is through the roof. And I'm seeing a lot of people frustrated, and I'm one of them at times. A lot of people are very frustrated that they can't find a way out, right? It seems like everything that you've been told is a lie. It's not working out for you. I'm seeing a lot of videos talking about, I can't afford a house, I can't afford to live, I'll never be able to have a house, I'll never be able to find a good woman or a good man, I'll never be able to achieve the American dream, right? The house, the white picket fence, the kids, the dogs, the happy family. That's what people want, right? When it comes down to it, that's really what people want. It's not the fact that people are pissed off about the jobs they have, even though that's a big one, right? I get it. And just speaking on jobs, if you're in a job that is breaking you down, that is tearing you up, guys, I'm telling you, you gotta find a way out, because even though I believe Gen Z will be the greatest generation of our time, I believe that some of us will be the most miserable because we've allowed ourselves to fall into a victim mentality. We've allowed ourselves to say, it's too hard, it's too difficult, this is it, it's over, right? You see, a lot of people are waiting for a big, Great Depression. They're waiting for something big to happen, World War III, a depression. They're waiting for things to just fall apart. Guys, I don't know what tomorrow holds. I don't know what's gonna happen, but from what I've seen, from what I'm seeing, I believe that things are happening on a more drawn out scale. I believe that things are being stretched out more than they have in the past. For instance, you had a Great Depression, right? You had a World War, you had things that have happened that have marked history for the people in America. And have changed everything, right? You go through a period of a few years, things are tough, things are crazy, and then we bounce back, things are better than ever. The thing is, I believe that we're living in a time where major things like that are much less likely to happen for many reasons. One, learning from history, right? Two, the way that things are, it's much more complicated. It'd be much more volatile, dangerous for things to happen all at once. Not saying it can't, I'm just saying that's just the way that things are now. But make no mistake, guys, you have lived. If you are Gen Z, you have lived through a drawn out depression, right? There are stages that have happened, there are things that have happened that have been drawn out over years, decades, that have impacted the way that things are now. Now, guys, I want you to understand that with this, there comes a choice. There comes a choice to fight, to figure a way out of this maze, this trap, whatever you want to call it, the matrix. There's a way out, but you have to fight. And I believe that Gen Z will be the greatest generation because we will find a way out. We will find a way to overcome the obstacles that are in front of us. A lot of you guys might be watching this going, man, that sounds great, sounds awesome, but I just don't know what I'm gonna do, right? Maybe I live with my parents, I'm still an adult. Maybe I just don't know what to do with my life. I'm addicted to so many different things. Guys, I get it. Being born at the beginning of Generation Z, I've seen how, as the years have played on, how kids, children, younger people have been affected by these things as time has gone on, right? So many things have gotten out of control, right? Just look at how easy it is to attain all these different, nicotine devices, vapes, weed, all these different things, porn, right? Video games, all these things, guys, all these things that people have been addicted to, that they're sinking all their dopamine, their time, their effort into. They don't realize it's destroying them. And the thing with drugs, guys, the thing with substances, you got to understand is nobody wants to do these things, right? Nobody wants to continually do these things. There are people out there who can start smoking cigarettes and stop, start smoking weed and stop. They can start these things and stop. They aren't addicted, right? They just do it, they enjoy it, it is what it is, but then they're not addicted. They don't feel like they have to keep going back to it, right? Drinking, same thing. They don't feel like they have to keep doing these things. With drugs, guys, with anything that's addicting, whether it's video games, food, nicotine, weed, porn, whatever it is, you're masking a symptom. You are using that as a drug. You're using that to mask pain. That's really all it is. It's maybe the pain of being abandoned. It's the pain of not being seen. It's the pain of losing someone. It's the pain of, everyday life. It's the pain of anxiety, depression, all these things. And the toughest thing to do is to realize that, these things aren't ultimately helping you. But the easiest thing to realize is if you just replace it with something, if you replace it with something beneficial, if you just one day you're like, you know what, I'm tired of living this way. I'm gonna stop identifying like this, right? I'm gonna replace it with something good, right? A lot of people are very anxious. See, I think a lot of things can be cured if people would just socialize more. I've been really big on this, right? I talked about this in some of my other videos. I grew up homeschooled, didn't really get to socialize a whole lot. Once I became a young adult, I became very extroverted, and I love hanging out, I love socializing. Don't get me wrong, I love to chill out, sit back, watch a movie, recharge, be on my own, but socializing is really great, guys. It really does something for the human nature. And we live in a world, people are waking up to this reality, but we live in a world where people are substituting real human, genuine interaction for online interaction, right? A lot of guys play video games, they play online video games where they can talk to people, chat with people. It's not the same thing, guys. Dating apps, this is another big one, right? I just saw something recently about how people are starting to change their mind. Dating apps are losing their people, right? They're losing the people that get these apps because they don't like the way that it is, right? Long story short, you get a dating app, you just match with somebody you think's attractive, maybe you meet with them, maybe you don't, see if it goes somewhere. It's very surface level. It's very shallow in many ways. I'm not saying people haven't met the love of their life on a dating app. I'm just saying most dating apps are geared towards looking a certain way, being attractive, and just hooking up with someone. That's really what it's all about. People are starting to wake up to this and realize it, guys. And I believe that Generation Z, if we really want to, we can wake up and we can be the change, right? We're looking to all these other people, we're pointing the finger and going, oh, it's, Gen X, it's the millennials, it's the boomers, right? It's all these people's fault that things are the way they are, that things are like this, that things are unfair for me. Look, they screwed it all up, they took advantage of it. Look, guys, we can point fingers at the past, we can make it out to be a big deal, we can be a victim, or we can take it for what it is and we can go forward and we can make the most of it. Again, do you think people in the Great Depression, I'm sure there were people pointing fingers and complaining, but they had to do what they had to do. They had to survive, they had to keep going forward. And guys, I'm gonna be real with you. A lot of people today are trapped in a consumerism lifestyle. This is something Generation Z has to be extremely careful about. And a lot of people are waking up to this as well. I understand there's a lot of you minimalists out there. I like to think I'm one as well. But for a long time, I even bought into this lie. You need all the subscriptions to all the video streaming services, or you're gonna miss out on the movies and the TV shows that your friends watch. Think about it, guys. Think about how many people have subscriptions. Maybe this is you, to Prime, Netflix, Hulu, like Peacock now, right? There's other streaming services like Crunchyroll. There's the music apps, right? Spotify. Pandora's not a thing anymore, I don't think, but like Apple Music, right? YouTube, all these things. I'm not saying you can't have, a couple of these things, right? But a lot of people sink a lot of their time and money. These things might not be expensive for a lot of people because a subscription is maybe only 10, $15 a month. But let's say you're subscribed to a bunch of things and you keep subscribing over, years, that's gonna end up being a lot of money. Plus, it's the time that's being sunk. How many people come home and sit down and just watch Netflix every day of the week for like 4 hours till they go to sleep? This isn't uncommon. We live in a world where we almost praise, where we applaud people who just like sit around and watch TV. I'm not saying you can't enjoy your yearly Star Wars marathon. Like, that's your thing, man. Have at it, have fun. But I'm saying, if you're just constantly focused on, distracting yourself, that's really what it's all about. If people are distracting themselves, for instance, just from personal anecdotal experience, right? I go through periods of time where I don't want to make these videos because I get in my head, I get just kind of off track and all that. And you guys have seen, if you're watching this video, if you look back at the past videos I've made up until this point, I have these long breaks in my videos, right? But the key is to not give up. It's like working out. So what if you miss a month of working out? Get back on and start working out. A lot of people, they just give up. People just give up. It's easy because there's so many things for Gen Z to distract themselves with and to also take the easy way out, right? I already talked about those things. It's so easy to get your vices. It's so easy. The access to everything is so easy. You can order almost everything online now. There's anything you can think of, if you're a guy, as far as like porn goes, right? Think about it. It's not just even porn anymore. It's OnlyFans. It's all these different services, these streaming services, like these live cams, right? You have all this stuff. Let's be real, guys. This is a reality, and more guys are being hooked into this. They're paying for this. Guys will sink hundreds, if not thousands of dollars into random girls just so they feel like they have some sort of a connection with them, so they feel noticed and heard. I'm telling you guys, sometimes you got to do the hard stuff, and you got to cut off every distraction in your life for a period of time. Or if you know there's a certain distraction that's taking up a lot of your time, a lot of your effort, you got to cut it out. I mentioned this in another video as well. Great example for me was Instagram, right? Don't really like Instagram, but I have it on my phone, and I found myself every time I was just mildly bored or just needed to have a hit of dopamine, I would just open my phone and go straight to Instagram. And I would see if my friends sent me any new shorts or memes or messages, right? I would scroll through and see what people were up to, check their stories. Guys, it was addicting. For me, it was, right? I'm just gonna be real, it was super addicting. So if something like that's causing you, like if you find yourself constantly going to something to get this artificial stimulation, find another way, guys. I'm telling you, find another way, right? Get out of your comfort zone. This is something that a friend and I were talking about recently. Growing up, we were both kind of socially awkward, didn't really fit in, but we both said there came a point in our lives where we looked in the mirror and we realized if we never get uncomfortable, if we never go through the awkward phase, if we never go through rejection, if we never go through the feelings of shame, right, of maybe being an outcast socially, if we never go through that, we're never gonna grow. And coincidentally, we grew up and we became extremely social, and we can talk in many social situations, right? And that's just gonna keep hopefully continuing to be the case as time goes on, right? Being social, guys, we need social connection, right? There's something about us as humans, right? We're not animals. I don't care what anybody thinks. We are spiritual beings. We need to have that spiritual connection with people, right? And the world is telling us, oh, you need to have sex. You need to do all these crazy things to feel like you're connected with people. Drink a lot, smoke a lot. You need to do all these things to feel connected to people. And we've abused these things. We've abused them. And we're cutting off, really, our spiritual connection. We're polluting it with all these different things. So guys, if you're Gen Z, don't lose hope. It's just a little bit tougher than what other people had it. I know there's going to be people who are still doubting, who are still frustrated, who are still angry, right? I get it. Maybe you've lost everything. Maybe you fell for the Disney fairy tale trap with women, and your life is devastated. It's over, right? Because you had a divorce because of some girl that did you wrong, right? Maybe you used to live your life a certain way, thinking that if I just went to school one day, if I just went to college, if I just did all these things, that I would have enough to afford the life I want. And then, of course, these major things happen in life, and you're like, goodness gracious, I can't afford it. It keeps moving, further and further out of reach. Guys, I would tell you, especially for the younger people out there, right? Because, Gen Z ends 2012, right? So you'd be 12, 13 years old watching this video. You have more opportunities today than you have ever had in your lifetime, right? What I mean by that, the world, look, guys, I'm gonna be straight up with you. This has been one of those arguments as old as time, right? People do not like change. It's just a fact. For the most part, people hate change because it removes stability, it removes a schedule, it removes the consistency, right? The perceived consistency. And the thing is, we live in a world now where it's moving very, very fast, right? And you're either going to be able to take advantage of it, figure out how to flow with it, right? And guys, as I'm saying this, I'm not saying sell your soul. I'm not saying to completely change your identity. I'm not saying to sell yourself, but I'm saying that there is a level of having to adjust, right? To assimilate to the way that things are moving. It's like when electricity first came out, right? It's like when, cars, planes first came out. It's like when computers first came out. A lot of people didn't like them. A lot of businesses didn't like them. They wanted to do it the old school way. They wanted to do it the pure way, the hard working way, guys. But those things do not define hard work. Those things do not define your morals and ethics, right? You can use things in a way that's godly. You can use things in a way that's going to be profitable. And guys, if you are Gen Z, I'm telling you, you have such a gift because you grew up in a time where technology was developing, right? Technology snowballed. And we live in a time of social media, and I get it, a lot of people don't want to be involved with social media. But what I am saying is, unless you just want to swear off the internet and computers and electronics completely, right? Unless you want to be Amish, live like the Amish, there are so many opportunities out there to make videos, to create content, to create how-tos, to create things that are beneficial to people's lives, like this channel, for instance, right? This YouTube channel is something I've been wanting to do for probably about 5 years, right? And like I said, there's been times where I make videos and I stop, and I notice that when I'm consistent, when I made videos essentially every day for about a month straight, my subscriber count blew up, right? My watch time blew up. But then when I take a break, if it's for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then I come back, it's hard to get that momentum again, guys. Momentum is your friend. Again, we live in a fast world. So if there's something that you enjoy, guys, if you've always wanted to sell things, I'm not saying get into all the drop shipping and the e-commerce and the stocks and all this get rich overnight stuff. I'm saying figure out something that you can work on the side, because you need to make money in real life. This is something a lot of Gen Zers just don't seem to understand. I was totally against it for years. I hated it. I tried to just rebel against the whole system, guys, but you need to make money somehow, right? Be smart with your finances. Stop getting cars that are hundreds of dollars a month in payments. Stop living places that you cannot afford, right? Stop thinking that you deserve to live this high and mighty lifestyle because you see Instagram and social media tell you that, oh man, you need to live the glitz and glamour life. You need to live below your means for probably a good 3 to 5 years and then work on something on the side. Guys, it's so easy. You see, the world's just a little bit different, right? Back in the day, you could pick something like in real life, be a blacksmith, be a glassmaker, right? You could do these things, and over 5, 10 plus years, you could get so proficient, so knowledgeable, you could open your own business, do your own thing. That's still possible, right? You can still do those things in real life. We still need people doing trades. We still need people doing law enforcement. We still need these things. But if you're watching this video up until this point, you probably realize that you need to do something different. You need to do something different than what everybody else is doing because you see that it's not working, right? You see that the prices of things have gone up 50%, right? You see that everything is different than how it used to be. And so you're smart. You realize that maybe I should do something on the side. Maybe I can do something different. Maybe I can be different, right? We need small business owners. We need people to open up shops in towns. We need people to open up good places that are beneficial to people, right? Not everybody's meant to be this online entrepreneur or coach or to make videos, right? Not everybody's meant to do these things, but I believe that everybody's meant to be the best in what they can be, right? A lot of people, they settle. A lot of people, they work the job that makes enough money to get by. And if that's you, man, if that's how you want to live, great. But a lot of people realize that that's not them, that they don't want to live that way. They don't want to be a slave to the system, so to speak. So find something that you enjoy. Find something that you can sink a little bit of time to, guys. Be consistent in it, because over time that's going to build. You see, I'm going to end the video with this, right? Gen Z can be the most successful, the greatest generation if they just stay consistent. There's so many distractions these days, guys. There's so many. Do not let them get you down. I'm telling you, I get it. I get how the world is, but that's the trap, right? There's a lot of people who are also successful. There's a lot of people who are also living life just fine, who have enough. And it's very easy to covet. It's very easy to become upset and be angry and be like, oh man, like they have it so easy. They're privileged, they're gifted, whatever. Guys, again, that's the victim mentality. Shut off the social media, get to work, do what you gotta do, sink your passion into something, guys. Most people, for instance, YouTube, great example. Most people who sink, a good few years, 5 years, maybe even 10 years into their passion on YouTube and whatever it is, right? They learn, they self-reflect, they see what works, they see what doesn't, they do what they enjoy, right? And so that energy is, it's given to people. People want that, right? They want that sincerity. They want that genuine human connection, that genuine human just charisma, guys. Like, it's just that contagious, motivational, inspirational part of you guys. Sometimes it's going to take you a good decade, but it's crazy. You know how many people have done something for 5, even 10 years, nothing really happens, and then all of a sudden it takes off. It shoots for the moon, man, and all of a sudden everything changes. All of a sudden their business, their YouTube, their services, their whatever that they're doing, right? It takes off, and then they have a name for themselves. Do you think God is going to give you something easy, right? Do you think God's just going to be like, hey, here it is? Some people he does, but for most people, I believe he wants us to have the faith to keep moving forward, the faith to be consistent, the faith to set aside devices, the faith to set aside the distractions and the victim mentality and the woe is me and things aren't fair, right? There is a way out, guys. Think about all the people in all the third world countries who grew up in the slums or grew up with communism or grew up with all these crazy obstacles set against them, orphans, right, living on the street, and they made it out and they became successful. The people who were in prison, for a decade or two and came out of prison and started their own business, right? The people who were on the street homeless, addicted to drugs for years, and all of a sudden one day, by the grace of God, woke up, started a business, started something that was beneficial to people. You see, we become so consumed with ourselves, like, how can I get more money? How can I get more fame? What can I do to get more things? What can I do to look cooler? And the trick, guys, it's not even the trick, it's the truth. The reality is, if you just focus on providing value to people, serving other people, being genuine with who you are and your strengths, and being consistent in that, being real in that, guys, letting just the Spirit of God flow through you, I'm telling you, the kingdom of righteousness, put first the kingdom of righteousness, and all of these things will be added to you. It's a byproduct. It's not the focus, it's not the goal, but it's the byproduct. And you'll find that along the way, you don't care if you're poor. You don't care if things are hard. You don't care if the struggle is hard. There's going to be dips, right? There's going to be dips and valleys, but you're going to have a spirit of joy, of peace, of long suffering that's going to get you through, guys. Put your faith in God. He's got you here for a reason. Everybody has a purpose in the body of Christ. So guys, let me know your comments below. I want to hear from you guys. Gen Zers, you guys are going to be the greatest generation of all time. Just have faith. Lord willing, I'll see you on the next one.